Coming up on this edition of The Shield, Valparaiso University held its annual career fair this past Friday.
And we have a look at late season severe storms and how you can stay safe during any extreme weather event.
If you haven't gone out and bought your Halloween pumpkin yet, this week is looking gorgeous to do so. And I'll have the answer to how fall break is shaping up. Don't change the channel. You're watching The Shield here on VUTV.
Thank you for joining us here on The Shield. I'm Andrew Whitmyer. The Career Center's Fall Career Fair brought in over 400 students this past Friday.
And I'm Cody. The event was taken advantage of not only by upperclassmen, but underclassmen as well. Our very own VUTV's Rachel Dunsing has more.
Over 100 employers crowded the Hari Union ballrooms on Friday, October 17th for the Fall Career Fair. The event ran from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. and gave students a chance to give out their resumes, network, and, hopefully, find employment. Senior Communications Major Laura Becker was one of over 400 students who attended the event. It was Becker's first time attending, and she was pleased with the companies she met.
I found it really beneficial. I actually have an interview set up for one of them.
However, the career fair is not just for upperclassmen. Even though international business and German major Tyler Ingersoll is only a sophomore, he understands how important these events are for the future.
Nice to be able to give out some resumes, and a lot of them have locations all over the place, so not necessarily just in Valpo.
Internships are also on the minds of underclassmen attending the career fair.
There's 2 or 3 engineering specific ones, and I talked to them. I gave them my resume. They gave me a card, so I look forward to seeing if they follow up.
Even alumni are proud to come back and represent their companies in hopes of adding more qualified Valpo students to their roster. Brandon Wattis, a Cintas sales trainee and Valpo grad, says he believes the Career Center and their events greatly prepared him for the intense interview process for his new job.
As far as how to prepare, what to wear even, they suggested what kind of suit to wear, what color shirt, how your resume paper should be, how to set it up, all these little things that really probably help in the long run.
Reporting for The Shield, I'm Rachel Dunsing.
When the typical person thinks of severe weather and in particular tornadoes, we often think of the spring and summer seasons, but as our Storm Shield meteorologist Will Haney informs us, tornado outbreaks can't be ruled out as the fall season threat.
It's a sound that should instantly turn your attention to the skies. And while we typically associate severe tornadic weather with the spring to summer transition period, it is important to remember that severe weather outbreaks still can occur in the later portion of the fall. I spoke to a handful of students and asked them which was worse, severe weather watch or warning, and I also asked them what their game plan was if they were to hear those tornado sirens.
I know that one of them has to do with the weather being the right conditions for that severe weather.
A severe weather watch or a severe weather warning?
A severe weather warning, and I know this, right? I think it's a warning because that's when someone has actually seen the funnel or something. Like if it was a tornado warning, someone would have actually seen a funnel, and a watch is just like, oh, it could happen right now.
Which is worse, a severe weather watch or a severe weather warning?
A severe weather warning.
So warnings are meaning the severe weather is happening right now. So please go indoors, go to the basement if there's a tornado warning.
My battle plan for it all would be if I'm sitting in my room studying and I hear that I need to get somewhere safe, I would probably go to the laundry room because it has pretty solid walls, no windows, and then I would just make sure everybody else is safe also.
After I decided to leave my room, I guess I would go to the basement or the first floor of the amenity center.
In the Hari Union, I'd probably go to the basement.
Plan of action should be to go indoors, first of all, and then go to your basement. If you don't have a basement, go into an interior room in your house, and there should be no windows in that room, so like a bathroom.
This past Monday, a strong mid-latitude cyclone tracked across the middle of our country, producing severe weather which included 35 tornado reports, the red dots you see here. Hopefully, if nothing else, this story reminded you of many of the facts we all should know when it comes to severe weather. Remember to have an action plan in case severe weather does strike here in Valpo, and always be prepared. For VUTV, I'm Will Haney.
There are a lot of majors here on campus, but did you guys know that the psychology department here at VU has its very own rat lab? Shield News reporter Amy Vanderheyden has more.
Inside the Art and Psychology building on the VU campus lies a state-of-the-art animal teaching and research lab. Housed inside the lab is over 70 white laboratory rats, both male and female. As Senior Olivia Adams explains, the rats serve several purposes in the classroom.
The rats are mainly used for the class that Professor Vernon teaches, and in that class we teach rats how to be operant trained. So, putting them in a box and they'll press a lever for food, and we do different schedules throughout the year. And then we even do a water maze with them, so they'll be swimming around and they have to find a platform, which is super funny.
The rats used in laboratory testing will undergo different experiments throughout the year for classroom purposes. Certain classes even offer students the opportunity to do research with their own personal rat. Through their work in the psych department and research experiments in the lab, students have the opportunity to better understand the key concepts of psychology. For The Shield on VUTV, I'm Amy Vanderheyden.
Still to come on The Shield, we have the latest on the spread of the Ebola virus.
And there are new developments in the disappearance of University of Virginia student Hannah Graham.
We're looking at a below average day for today. Our high is expected to be 55 for Wednesday. It's a little below average of 61. I am talking about a warm up though. I'll tell you how much we will warm up in my full forecast coming up later. Stay tuned. You're watching The Shield.
Interested in the television industry? Stop by our office in Schnabel Hall and join VUTV today.
On a campus plagued with terrible weather, Valpo students suffer from boredom with no motivation to leave their room. They begin to search for free movies and stumble upon Valpo's new free movie streaming website, where you get unlimited free access to recent movies like Despicable Me 2 and Jobs at the tips of your fingers. So if you're feeling bored, then don't wait. Grab some friends, find a seat, and enjoy a movie on movies.valpo.edu.
Welcome back to The Shield. Topping national news, the continued efforts to curb the spread of Ebola in the U.S. Texas Governor Rick Perry is asking for President Obama's help to reassure Texans worried about Ebola.
Yesterday, I spoke with President Obama. Among other matters, I asked him, as a stopgap measure, to fast-track CDC acknowledgement of the next level facilities that are better prepared to deal with diseases like Ebola. This will let people know that there will be a place to go if they get sick in Texas.
2 healthcare workers caught the disease in Dallas following their involvement in the treatment of Thomas Eric Duncan, the first American to be treated for Ebola. Governor Perry also said the U.S. should ban air travel from countries hit hardest by Ebola.
This past week, President Obama appointed Ron Klain as his Ebola czar to coordinate the entire federal response to any threat of an Ebola outbreak in the United States. However, the decision has not come without controversy, as many Republicans are criticizing the appointment of Klain as the right person for the job. Erin McPike reports.
After weeks of mistakes dealing with Ebola,
frankly, I'd like to know who's in charge.
President Obama caved to critics, anointing an Ebola czar, longtime Joe Biden aide Ron Klain, to coordinate the administration's response.
We've got an all-hands-on-deck approach across government to make sure that we are keeping the American people safe.
But Klain is best known for managing political messaging and has no experience in public health, Complaints came fast and furious from Republicans, including House Foreign Affairs Chairman Ed Royce, who said, quote, "I have to ask why the president didn't pick an individual with a noteworthy infectious disease or public health background."
That's not solely a medical response. What we were looking for is not an Ebola expert, but rather an implementation expert. And that's exactly what Ron Klain is. He is somebody who has extensive experience in the federal government. He's somebody that has extensive management experience when it comes to the private sector.
The White House is also fending off growing calls from both sides of the aisle to ban travel from affected countries in West Africa.
Air travel is, in fact, how this disease crosses borders, and it's certainly how it got to Texas in the first place. Based on recent and ongoing developments, I believe it is the right policy to ban air travel from countries that have been hit hardest by the Ebola outbreak.
Erin McPike, CNN, the White House.
Some sad news to report. If we've been following this for the past couple of weeks, police called off the search for a missing University of Virginia student after human remains were found during a search over the weekend. Search teams looking for UVA student Hannah Graham found what appears to be human remains on Saturday in an abandoned structure in Albemarle County, Virginia. It hasn't been confirmed yet if those remains are those of 18-year-old student Hannah Graham. Graham's parents have been notified.
The remains will be taken to the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner in Richmond for examination, autopsy, and official identification. Investigators have spent the greater part of this afternoon canvassing the property where the remains were found. This, sadly, is now a death investigation, and therefore we will not be releasing any additional details concerning specifics on the scene or evidence found at the scene.
Graham was last seen on September 13, 2014, on security camera footage being followed by Jesse Matthew. Matthew is now in custody and charged with the kidnapping of Graham.
A tradition that happens every year at a New Hampshire college turned violent over the weekend at a popular pumpkin festival. Tear gas and pepper spray hung in the air as police and riot gear tried to disperse a rowdy crowd that had gathered together for a party Saturday night. Partygoers turned into rioters during a popular pumpkin festival near Kennesaw State College. Police say they had 2 fire pepper balls to contain the crowd. Reports said dozens of arrests were made and even more were injured among the chaos. Fires burned early into the morning hours on streets littered with broken beer and liquor bottles. New Hampshire's governor says she will continue to monitor the situation.
An Iowa teacher may have saved many lives. Authorities in Pocahontas County say that the educator saw a 14-year-old boy researching explosives on a school computer and reported it to police. Less than 24 hours after the report, the student and his mother were both facing charges. Investigators said they found explosives in the house. The sheriff says it was enough to level a 2-story building. The house has now been condemned and will have to be torn down because of the destructive chemicals.
There was no threats made to anybody in school or any specific person. This was something he was experimenting with, and I think for a long time, and he finally perfected it.
Now, while there wasn't a specific threat, the sheriff says the teen planned to blow up a building next month. Both the teen and his mother are charged with possession of explosive materials.
Nearly 3 weeks have passed since a group of pro-democracy protesters have occupied a major intersection in Hong Kong. By early Friday morning, hundreds of Hong Kong police flooded the intersection to clear the area of activist blockades. CNN's Ann Corrine was there as it all unfolded.
You are looking at the first cars, the first traffic to be allowed through onto Nathan Road here in Mongkok. This has been the protest site at this particular area for almost 3 weeks. Well, hundreds of police moved in here just before dawn to clear the site, to clear the barricades, to clear what has effectively been a camp. Now, the protesters have been here and 2 other protest sites on Hong Kong Island, Causeway Bay and Admiralty, voicing their opposition to Beijing's control of Hong Kong after the Chinese central government announced back in August that it will be handpicking candidates for the Hong Kong election in 2017. That is when the city is due to receive universal suffrage. Now, Hong Kong's Chief Executive CY Leung says police will be clearing all the protest sites, but this has been going on for long enough. The protesters have made their point, and that this is now causing a negative impact on Hong Kong society. It has, of course, been causing massive traffic disruptions throughout much of the city. Here in Mong Kok, police removed barricades, tents, bamboo structures, using wire cutters, chainsaws and heavy machinery.
We came in early this morning, there was no resistance, there was no complaints. We negotiated with the crowd first, and we made sure they still had a protest area over there. We haven't cleared the whole area, just a lot of the traffic, and we've left them with a protest area still on the street over there.
If we leave now, then we're really going to lose this site. What we're hoping for is more people for backup, so I have to stay here.
It did appear that one protester was injured during a scuffle and was taken away in an ambulance. Now, CY Leung also said that he is now prepared to reopen talks with the protesters. However, he has made it clear that Beijing will not repeal its decision. Now, we have witnessed recent nighttime clashes where police have used pepper spray and made dozens of arrests. Now, while this clearing operation may have been relatively peaceful, it's going to be much more difficult to move the main group of protesters stationed outside Hong Kong's government headquarters. Anna Corrin, CNN, Mong Kok, Hong Kong.
After a week of rain, we will see a change in our weather. Storm Shield meteorologist Lynnette Grant will be back with a look at your full Valpo weather forecast. Stay with us.
For over 100 years, VU has trusted the torch for reliable and accurate accounts of campus happenings. And with an end of a century, we would like to say thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Valpo.
We have been covering stories that will impact you both in print and online. For Players Spotlight and next week events, to the opinions you have, count on us as Valpo's most reliable source for campus happenings. 4-time winner of College Weekly of the Year, The Torch, home of the truth, celebrating 100 years of excellence in journalism.
Good morning, Valparaiso University. What's a better way to start your day than with a new jam? And WVUR has just what you need.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it... If Daniel won't change your mind, baby,
Broadcasting sports, news, weather, and music on air, online, and on campus. WVUR is my jam.
Welcome back to The Shield. As I mentioned, we are going to be seeing those temperatures on the warm-up with plenty of sunny days ahead. And for those of you who are staying here on campus for fall break, all of your forecasts coming up a little bit later. But for now, we are stuck with those cooler temperatures overnight tonight. We're going to drop into the upper 30s here in Valpo. You see a lot of areas are experiencing a lot of cold temperatures overnight tonight. We'll warm up into the mid to upper 50s here in Valpo for Wednesday in the afternoon. The heat is staying off to our west. Wait a few days, though. We will begin to see that heat creep back. But that cold is coming back Wednesday night into Thursday. It's just showing that it's still going to be cold. 36 in Valpo by the time you wake up on Thursday morning at 7 a.m. You need to bring that jacket with you to classes, as it is still we don't have classes anymore. It's fall break. If you are going out that early, bring that jacket with you because it is still going to be a little on the cool side. As we go in the afternoon, temperatures will warm into the 50s, but we won't have any rain. That rain is off to our east. We had that rain last week. It was very pesky and it wouldn't leave. Thankfully for Wednesday during the day, in the morning we'll see clear skies across Indiana and northern Illinois. We begin to see some showers approaching off to the west in Nebraska and in Kansas. By 9 o'clock, that line is still off to our west. It approaches just a little bit as we get into Thursday morning, but as we go into the afternoon, that line stalls a little bit, so the clouds haven't even come in by 2 o'clock on Thursday. So we are going to see a majority of the day on Thursday being very nice. We are going to warm up to 57 degrees on Thursday with mostly cloudy conditions. On Friday, if you're still on campus for fall break, we'll see mostly sunny conditions and we'll warm up to 63 degrees, which is right around average for this time of year, just a few degrees above that. We are still going to be a little on the cool side tonight, 37 degrees. As I mentioned, a little chilly as those clouds are going to be clearing, and clear skies allow for those temperatures to go down. 55 degrees tomorrow, a crisp fall day on tap. But look at the next 5 days. We'll see those temperatures gradually warm up as we go in the next few days. We'll be in the 60s by the time Friday rolls around. 63 on Friday. Look at Saturday and Sunday. 66 on Saturday and 68 on Sunday. Some areas could even be in the 70s. So as I mentioned earlier, if you haven't gone to the pumpkin patch yet or even to County Line Orchard, this would be a perfect time to go. It's going to be very nice, and the weather is just going to be brilliant for it.
So for the fall weather forecast, so that's going to be great to go out and take those pictures.
Oh, it's going to be great to get outside and take those fall pictures because it's going to just be so pretty.
What I also noticed too is when you're showing those temperatures that it's really across the Midwest. So if students are doing a lot of traveling either from Valpo going home for fall break, really most of the Midwest is going to be encompassed by that pretty nice weather across the area.
Yeah, it's going to be a little cool for the next few days, but especially across the Midwest. We're looking for a very good fall weekend.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lynnette. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're talking about women's soccer and what that's meaning here for Valpo. Stay tuned. You're watching The Shield here on Channel 82.
Hi everybody, I'm Dick Vitale of ESPN, and I'm on VUTV. It's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
VUTV Sports Director Parker Gatewood now joins us at the desk. And Parker, kind of a wild week, wins and losses on both sides for Valpo Athletics this week.
Yes, very much so, Ricky. It was a very bittersweet week in the world of Valpo Athletics. Volleyball and football had devastating losses this weekend that we will touch on in just a bit, but let's get things going on a positive note and start with soccer. While riding a 6-game winning streak, the women's soccer team faced off against Wright State on Saturday, a team that was in dire need of a Horizon League win. It didn't take long for the Raiders to strike as just 14 minutes into the game, Natalie Sedlock put in the game's first goal. However, the Crusaders had the answer. In the 28th minute, April Cronin tied things up with a goal of her own, and the game was back to level. The Crusaders would continue to push the ball, and in minute 48, Vanessa Abad scored what would prove to be the game-winning goal. The Crusaders won by the final score of 2-1, and Valpo improved to 9-1-4 on the year, and more importantly, 5-0-0, staying undefeated in the Horizon League. Over to the men's side of the ball, where the Crusaders traveled to Cleveland State for another Horizon League matchup. Valpo came into the contest 3 points behind Cleveland State in the standings, and a win would be enough to put them within striking distance in the Horizon League. The match did not see any goals in the first half of play, but in the 58th minute, Jordan Ayadud, who's been on fire of late, received a pass from Jacob Gondaria, which he put straight into the net for the match's only goal. With the win, Valpo improved to 3-2 in the Horizon League and are now tied for third along with Cleveland State and Wright State. Well, let's stay on Brown Field, but how about we switch gears and talk some football? not many people gave the Crusaders a chance this weekend as they faced off against Drake. Drake was coming off of a game against Davidson in which they outscored the Wildcats 51-14. So you can see why the Crusaders were underdogs heading into this one. But they obviously did not read any of the pregame reports. Valpo controlled the game for 3 quarters and led Drake 9-3 heading into the 4th. However, it was all for naught as the Crusaders coughed up the lead to the Bulldogs, who put up 14 points in the 4th to win the game by the final score of 17-9. The Crusaders dropped to 0-3 in conference play, tied for second to last in the PFL. Rounding out the weekend was volleyball, who had 2 thrilling matches that both ended in losses. The Crusaders took on UIC Friday, and each set was separated by a mere 2 points. The Crusaders lost the match in 4 sets by the scores of 27-25, 23-25, 31-29, and 25-23. And on Sunday, Valpo had a non-conference matchup against North Dakota State that went the distance. It was a 5-set thriller, where once again the Crusaders lost the final set by just 2 points. The final score of that one being 25-20, 16-25, 25-20, 21-25, and finally 15-13. The girls are now 17-5 on the year and 4-3 in Horizon League play. The volleyball team has what could be their biggest match of the year coming up this Friday, so if you're not heading home for spring break, I would highly recommend being at the Arc at 7 p.m. to show your support. And for all other Valpo sporting news, always stay connected at valpoathletics.com. So guys, again, that match this coming Friday, it's going to be against Milwaukee. It is a match that is of high intensity. This could potentially tie them for first place in the Horizon League standings. A huge match for one of Valpo's most exciting teams.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Parker. Definitely, if you get a chance to go out there, if you're staying here for fall break, get out there and do that. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to have a last look at your Valpo weather forecast with our very own Lynnette Grant. Stay tuned.
Interested in the television industry? Stop by our office in Schnabel Hall and join VUTV today.
Lynnette Grant is back for a look at a sunny forecast for fall break. Lynnette?
That's right, guys. We are going to be seeing a lot of sun this week, not just for fall break. We'll start off with some sun. We'll have skies clearing tonight with a low dropping down to 37. Tomorrow, the skies will remain rather clear, and it'll be a brisk 55 degrees. But by the time we get closer to fall break, we are going to see those temperatures warm rather nicely, increase in the next few days. Thursday, 57, Friday, 63, upper 60s by the weekend. So definitely, whether you're home for fall break or here on campus, it's going to be a great weekend to just get outside and enjoy that weather.
Absolutely. So whether you're spending it indoors or perhaps going out and catching the volleyball game on Friday too, it seems like lots to do if you're stuck here on campus or aren't going home. So.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, well, that's all we have for you on this edition of The Shield. I'm Andrew Whitmyer.
And I'm Ricky Cody. Remember, you can get the latest in anything Valpo related right on our YouTube page at youtube.com/ValpoVUTV. For everyone here at VUTV, I'm Ricky Cody. Have a great rest of your week and a great fall break as well. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks right here on The Shield. Bye-bye.